Hi, everyone. This is Deepak, and I'm going to be talking to you about our company, Remanent Ideas. Our tagline is Building Ideas That Last. Our name, Remanent Ideas, comes from the ability of a magnetic field to impart residual magnetism on a piece of metal. That is, when a piece of metal is subjected to a magnetic field and the magnetic field is taken away, that piece of metal still remains magnetic after the magnetic field is gone. And that's kind of how we see our company, is that what we're trying to do is to infuse a an increase in the creative process and creative powers of our community through 3D printing technology. And even when our clients aren't using our service, we hope that they continue to remain creative, continue to think of new ideas, and continue to grow creatively. And that's truly our vision for how we want to see our company grow and develop. So, Remanent Ideas, as I mentioned before, comes from the opportunity to exploit the creativity and productivity of individuals and industries in our local community by putting the technology of 3D printing directly into their hands. We want to offer the ability for our clients to receive expert design consultation and 3D printing services. We feel that there are three major client groups that are going to be most attracted to this service, specifically community hobbyists, academic scientists and other university staff, and industry professionals. Our 3D prints and design expertise will be priced in a flexible manner so people can get exactly the level of consultation and printing help that they need. So the questions we are hoping to help with are for those folks who have ever wished that they could turn their creative project into something real, or if a person had thought of an object or a prototype that they wanted to create but were limited by resources, costs, or know-how on how to make it actually happen. For individuals who have needed help designing a 3D CAD or computer-assisted design file for 3D printing, or if they needed specific design help and expertise from a CAD technician. At Remanent Ideas, we are going to provide solutions for all of these potential problems. So as I mentioned before, Remanent Ideas is a full-service design and printing shop targeted to clients from all backgrounds, specifically hobbyist makers, academic and academic and industry professionals. We will offer a range of services and printing, including design help and basic printing services to the most advanced printing services. Our mission statement is to bring the ability to create anything through 3D printing to the everyday person. Our vision is to be the focal point where manufacturing technology meets the desires of the everyday person. We will always be servants of the community, and we directly want to allow the community to explore and create, or to explore their creative process and be able to create the objects that are in their mind. We want to use our company as a springboard to allow anyone to create anything that they want, with the goal of their of exploring and enhancing their own creativity. And we feel that even on a local level, this will help create a culture change of sorts, where people are going to become more creative and to look to explore their own creative abilities. So Remanent Ideas, like I mentioned, is going to offer a combination of prototype design assistance, um, CAD-based design assistance, and of course 3D printing services. 3D printing most likely is going to be using plastic and resin. More specialized types of 3D printing, including metals, um, uh, are not going to be offered initially, but we are looking at potentially offering those types of services in the future. So the customer is going to get rapid prototyping and printing services. They're going to have the ability to make customized products to their specifications and their desires. And they're going to have options to choose a variety of different dimensions on how they receive their printing services and our design expertise. And we're going to tailor their end goal to their budget. So as I mentioned in previous slides, we're going to be focusing on three major client groups: community hobbyists, specifically artists and tinkerers in the area that are looking to explore their creative process; scientists and academicians who may need a specific part for a instrument in their laboratory and are looking to create an object that'll fill this role; and of course industry professionals that may have a factory part that they need 3D printed. There are a variety of 3D printing services as well as prototype design and CAD services. However, as you can see in the quadrant diagram, they all occupy different scopes than Remanent Ideas. We anticipate, or we are planning on being an ideal mix of offering design expertise and services with printing services. And we really feel like what sets us apart is that we're going to be very much a customer-driven process where the customer is going to have the ability to drive the design and or printing process in the direction that they want. And we feel that this empowerment of giving our customers the knowledge to create instead of just providing a product is going to create a active. They're going to develop into active participants in the realization of their own ideas. Our competitive advantage is both our versatility. We're going to offer both 3D printing services and CAD services under one roof. But where we stand apart is that this is very much something that we're going to do hand in hand with our clients, and we're not anticipating providing a service where we just do printing or just do designing without the input of our customer base. We really see ourselves becoming the Kinkos of 3D printing and design by making our service much more customer driven than our competitors. And I think that that's what is going to truly set us apart. So our company founders are Zach Shefford, who is the owner and the CEO of the company; Deepak Madhavan, who is the CFO; Vertica Rawat, who is the CTO; and Yesenia Pelaez, who is our marketing CCO. Zach has 6 years of product design experience. He has extensive knowledge of the 3D printing industry and an established customer base of 3D printing customers already. Deepak is an MD with experience in running a solo medical practice, has had experience with being on the board of a local nonprofit, and extensive background in both medicine and biochemistry. Vertica has an extensive background in engineering, especially agricultural engineering, and through this has experience with modeling, simulation, sustainability analysis, has experience in project management. And Yesenia is a experienced business manager with project management um, expertise, strategic planning experience, uh, and also experience in the social responsibility space. So as I've alluded to before, Remanent Ideas is going to um, work on a technician-based um, sort of input where the customer comes in, directly interfaces with one of our technicians. We will gauge the amount of design expertise that the individual needs, and we will help them tweak their designs for to their desired endpoint. Or if the customer has a specific idea of what they already need, then we will just take their design and make a print. Um, our business model is very flexible because customers are going to choose their level of service based on quality and print time involved, as well as the technician time that's involved in designing and printing their product. So we will gauge our customers' needs for the quality of the type of 3D printing that they need, as well as the design time. As you can see, our technician time is going to be $45 an hour. And then there are different outputs of how fine and specific of a 3D print is necessary. And as you can see, that can range anywhere from a 0.3 millimeter layer to 0.001 millimeter layer, and that can range from $1 per cubic centimeter to $38 per cubic centimeter. So there's a wide range of quality and prices that a customer can choose from. As you can see, there are many different ranges of quality. You can create a very coarse object, or you can create a very fine, polished looking object. And the range is going to be reflected in the variable pricing model. So our risks are both external and internal. External are the entry of new local competitors. As I mentioned in the quadrant diagram, there are several companies that do similar things. We aim to sort of be a more versatile version of those companies. However, there's always the possibility that one of these companies can try to replicate or approximate our business model by becoming more consumer focused or trying to become more versatile from the space that they're in. And so we might have to deal with some competition. Technology is always changing. So if there's significant jumps in 3D printing technology over the years, that might create an obstacle for us in terms of purchasing new capital. And then there's always difficulty in identifying and hiring the right staff, the ones with the appropriate professional experience, the ones with the same that share the same vision as the founders. Because we want to create long-term relationships with the people that we hire, and we want them to gain experience and knowledge in the 3D printing field. Related to that, the internal risks are the technical background necessary for our employees. That's why we're going to be looking at our local universities for engineering students that are looking to get into 3D printing. And then, of course, if the customer has a specific product in their mind's eye, but doesn't have the budget to meet it, there may be some disconnects in terms of their the end product not meeting their specifications because of budgetary limitations. So startup costs involve direct capital purchases of both 3D printers and computers, which will have CAD-based software on it. Altogether, we approximate this to be about $26,500 the first year. and that's actually a one-time purchase. However, employee salaries and wages, which is about $80,000 a year, is a significant part of the startup, as is the cost of maintaining a brick and mortar location, including rent, advertising, and maintenance, which is another $80,000 a year. So you can see cash flow in year one, which shows a negative cash balance for the first year. A large part of this is because of the initial capital expenses and startup loans that are needed to develop the business. We are going to be using a revolving credit line over year one to make our shortfalls, which we anticipate we will pay back in year two. So there's cash flow in year two. The major expenses in year two are payback of our loans. We don't have significant capital expenses in year two because all of that was purchased upfront in year one. And then by year three, we've sort of reached a very strong steady state, and we are at our optimum functionality in overall in terms of our company. So looking at our income statement at years 1 through 3, as you can see, our net revenue for year one is lower than both year 2 and year 3, and that's largely because we are still working on building a customer base. We have some significant capital expenses in year one, but by year 2 and year 3, that begins to be substantially improved. We do have loan requirements that we will have to be required to pay back in year 2 and 3, but we feel that this is going to be very this should be done without significant compromise because of the fact that our business is going to be very successful, or we aim for our business to be very successful by year 2. In terms of our balance sheet, as you can see, our debt ratio improves from year 1 to 3 steadily. There's a substantial improvement after year 1 where we're highly leveraged. Our working capital also substantially improves from year 1 to year 3, and we're dealing with negative working capital in year 1. But as you can see, we have a significant residual amount of working capital in year 3, and that might help to position us for the future. If we need to buy new computers or new 3D printers, we're going to have the means to do that. The debt to equity ratio, as you can see in the bottom of the slide, is also very favorable by year 3. We're highly leveraged in year 1, which is understandable with a startup, but by year 3, we should be very close to where our target debt to equity ratio should be. So our initial investments include an $8,500 direct owner's investment, a $15,000 friends and family investment, and an initial loan of $20,000. Like I mentioned before, we anticipate using a revolving credit line in year 1 to cover any operating shortfalls, and we assume this number to be about $40,000 for the first year. However, if we can secure some external funding from venture capital or private equity, this might allow us to not seek financing and to cover our cost immediately, which would go a long way in helping us to be solvent starting in year 1. So continuing on that theme, Based on our steady state EBITDA of year 3, which is $191,000 and $191,925, we suggest a 5 times valuation of the company based on comparable technology firms. A 5 times valuation is $959,625. We would like to offer a 10% stake in our company for an initial investment of $100,000 a year one. This would cover our bank loan as well as a revolving credit line, and would obviate our need of seeking any external loans starting in year one. With a 10% stake in our company, we expect our yearly return of interest by year 3 to be about $18,000, as our total net income is about $180,000 a year at the end of year 3. Based on how we end up growing, this could substantially increase in the long term. In terms of exit strategies, the owners are committed to being involved with this business for the long term. However, there are many options for growth strategies involving the opening of branch locations both in the Lincoln and Omaha areas, as well as around the Midwest. We have also explored potential franchising of the company. By the end of year 3, we are planning on seeking further investment or private equity funding with the intention of opening more stores in the Midwest. We will also develop a series of standardized best practices so we can lay the groundwork for franchising the company by the end of year 5. Thank you for your time, and I hope you've enjoyed learning about our company, Remanent Ideas.